Hey guys, welcome back. Happy Christmas one and all. And as we're finishing out the year, as promised, here is my portfolio and plan for 2022. And in this video, we'll be looking at the asset class performance of the year, what were the winners and the losers, the investing environment we are all facing in 2022, my personal portfolio and asset allocation for 2022, and then we'll finish with my plan and strategy for next year. As always, if you do enjoy anything in the video, then drop a Christmas like, always appreciated. Okay, got some great stuff coming up in this video, which I only do once a year. First up, we have asset class performance. How did everything do? Ready? Let's do this. So, how did everything perform in 2021? These are the major asset classes. For commodities, we're using the Goldman Sachs Commodities Index. We have cash. For bonds, we're using BND, which is the Total Market Aggregate Bond Index. For property, we'll use an average, as it's really hard to do this by state or county, let alone globally. For stocks, we'll use the S&P 500. Then we have gold and crypto. And so commodities had a big bounce back, and they did a great year at 36%. Now, cash is obviously flat. And before anyone says, no, cash is not negative, say 7% due to inflation. Inflation actually affects all of these the same, so cash is actually zero. Bonds was negative 3%. Property will put at a flat rate of 5%. But obviously there's a lot more you can do with property, to be fair. S&P 500 had a great year at 25%. Gold had a terrible year, negative 3%, and then crypto right now is around 193%. So you can clearly see, again, crushed the performance of every other asset class. And this has been happening year on year. Check out 2020. And you'll see it's a very similar picture. Commodities got crushed, cash was flat, and then compared to the other asset classes, crypto actually did 300%. So it's very clear, if you weren't in crypto this year, you definitely missed out. Now, moving on to the investing environment that we're all facing in 2022. And these are the key things that I am looking at. First up is the US stock market, and this is the Wilshire 5000, and as you can see, it basically just shows that stocks have shot up, especially over the last 10 years, and it's starting to go exponential. So stocks are really, really high right now, and for me, this is a bit of a warning sign. And obviously, we're still in the mix of a global pandemic. These are the different waves that we've been experiencing over the last couple of years. And with the new variant, it's now peaking out. And this could be another black swan event that could cause a crash in the financial markets next year. So definitely something to be wary of. We then have money printer Powell. And we have to accept that in the last couple of years, there's been an enormous amount of money printed. We're seeing inflation at record highs. So we also have to factor this in our investments. And this is quite a cool chart of the US inflation rate, and it actually goes back all the way to 1880. And just look how crazy inflation and deflation was back then. And in comparison, it makes to what's happening recently seem pretty tame. But to be fair, this really was just a different era. So the further back we go, the less important and useful this data is. If we actually just take it from the year 2000, as this is the birth of the digital age, and we have got a much better control of inflation. Obviously, we had the 2008. Obviously, it peaked in 2008, followed by the big crash. And so right now, again, we are on a big peak. Is this letting us know that a crash may be imminent? Again, just something to keep an eye on. And another great chart to put things in perspective is the size of these markets. So the global bond market is around about 120 trillion. Global stocks is around 100 trillion. For gold, it's around about 10 trillion. And for crypto right now, we're sitting around the 2.5 trillion mark. So this just says to me, when I'm looking for things that are still going to grow in 2022, it was crypto that, even though it's had amazing performance in the last couple of years, it's still a tiny market in comparison to the other major asset classes. So probably the number one most important thing for investors is going to be asset allocation. How do you allocate your money to the different asset classes? Your main options are stocks, bonds, crypto, commodities, cash, property, and alternatives. Stocks could be individual, it could be ETFs, it can be in your own country or globally. Bonds, you've got a variety from the safe government bonds to the higher risk junk bonds. Crypto, do you pick individually? Do you go for an index fund? Commodities, mainly this will be things like gold. There'll be people investing in oil, but it also covers things like wheat and sugar, and there's lots of commodities to choose from. Cash, now that we have high inflation, is cash trash, or is this something we should be hoarding? Property, there's lots of different things to do with property, or it could be alternatives. Are you a fan of Pokemon cards? Or maybe a nice new NFT? And this is just an equal weighting for illustration. And this was my portfolio at the end of 2020. This is how it looked a year ago as we finished the year. Quite an equal split. I had a good quarter in silver, a good quarter in stocks, about 33% in crypto, and 17% in cash. Now, when it comes to portfolios, and this is whether it's mine, whether it's big investors like Dalio or Buffett or any other YouTube channel, you have to know what you're looking at, because people will refer to portfolio, but this could either be liquid assets, so this is just something that you can sell quickly, or it would be net worth, which includes everything, all investments that are not liquid as well. Mainly property. And you'll notice it completely changes the dynamic of what you're looking at. So you could say that this was quite a high risk portfolio, but when you see the full picture, this is how it fits in. And this would actually be a relatively low risk portfolio. So big lesson, make sure, are you looking at someone's liquid portfolio or the net worth? Net worth is better because it includes everything, but you're most likely going to be looking at liquid. Now, what happened with me, and it was one of the biggest, boldest things I have done in my investing career, is that when we had a big crash this year, I actually sold out of virtually everything and I went all in crypto. So this was the crypto market in 2021, and we had this huge run up in the start of the year, and then into May we had this huge epic drop, and people kept saying buy the dip, but it just kept dipping and going down, and this was a 50% plus crash. And a very painful time for crypto investors as it just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And it was around this time that I actually sold out of stocks and I sold out of silver and I went all in crypto. Didn't time it absolutely perfect, but since then we did have another massive run, and it's since still down about 25%. So finishing the year, this is how my portfolio looked. And this is where it is pretty much right now. So I'm 70% in crypto and 30% in cash. Now, half of this I keep actually in stable coins because I'm getting 9% on the money, but the other half is in my limited company, and I'm currently researching how I can convert the cash on the balance sheet also into either stable coins or crypto for this year. And this is how it looks as part of the bigger picture, which is actually the true picture I'm 46.5% in crypto. I've got a nice 20% in cash and about a third in property. And finishing 2021, my net worth grew by 99%. In fact, with crypto's run over the last couple of days, this is actually over 100%. So very, very pleased with my investment decisions and enjoyed an excellent year of growth. And for anyone interested, this is how my crypto portfolio looks. It's around about half of it is in ETH, about a quarter of it is in Bitcoin. We've got a good Solana position, a bit of BNB, and also the C20 crypto index fund. Now, navigating 2022 is going to be very challenging because we could have a big cycle top, we could have a crypto winter, so I'll be using a rule-based system. And this is so I don't get swept away in all the emotion of fear and greed, and I just let the numbers do the talking. Essentially, you can do three things. You can buy more, you can sell, or you can hold. If we experience a 50% plus drop in Bitcoin, meaning altcoins would be down 60, 70, and 80%, I will be moving my cash into crypto. If we go on a massive tear in the first quarter, second quarter, then I'll be selling in 20% increments at certain points, and I'll make videos showing you when I am selling. And everything in between I will be holding. So the problem I will have is if crypto's just doing these little 20 or 30% ups and downs and kind of just going sideways, this is where I will just have to be patient and holding. And this is how I navigate a potential very challenging year in crypto. And the second biggest challenge I will have is knowing what to sell and what to keep, and by how much. I will ideally like to get rid of these individual positions, and I'd rather have at least half the portfolio in crypto 20, so I'm covered by the index fund as my greatest position. Maybe Ethereum might be a quarter, a smaller amount of Bitcoin, and maybe a smaller 1 or 2 single positions. And we'll see how all this turns out at the end of next year. So with being mostly invested in crypto in 2022, and with crypto being extremely volatile, it's going to be a challenging year to navigate. And add to that a potential cycle top and probably some kind of crypto winter, I do think we're going to get a huge run in crypto and at least 150% crash. So being able to handle all the emotions and execute in a calm, rational way is going to be key. Now, please don't just copy off me or anybody else, as this is suited to my personal situation, my income level, my portfolio size, and my personal level of knowledge. And I'm first to admit, I'm very likely not going to be able to time the tops and bottoms perfectly, but I am happy with that. I am happy to wait, and I do think I have a higher level of patience than average. Now, big question, how do we measure success in 2022? Well, I think of it this way. If I wasn't invested in crypto, where would my money be? And it would probably be in stocks, but not individual stocks because most people lose in that game. So my money would probably be in a broad market index fund. Now, the S&P 500 historically gets about 10% growth per year. On a great year, it's 20%. So if crypto beats the S&P 500 index fund, then for me, I've won, and that is my benchmark. So again, in just one sentence, crypto just needs to beat the S&P 500 index fund, and I will have made the right decision with my asset allocation. And anything above that is just a bonus. That is my bet for 2022. Did I beat the index? So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Looking forward to helping everyone crush 2022. Have a great new year. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like for the final time this year. If you haven't yet subscribed, what are you doing? Click below and join us. Got some great videos coming up that you don't want to miss. Okay, cheers guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next year. Bye for now.